Donkey, what are we here for?
Well, Shrek, I heard about this guy on Facebook.
What does he do?
I heard he talks about college and video production. You know, being wise about loans and job experience.
Being a college student and a video producer. Sounds interesting, but I'm not cut out for this.
Not even applying to.
Yes, not even in applying to far, far away university.
Do what you want then.
Thank you. The rest of you. Endure.
Coursework, financial aid, followers, copyright strikes, and more. You are listening to the Life of a Content Creating College Student podcast starring Wayne Z0207 and Charlotte Waite.
And good evening, folks. My name is Colton W. Hurst, also known as Wayne Z0207 on the internet, and I welcome you to this podcast.
Hello, I'm Charlotte, the co-host, and we're joined by a very today.
Allow me to introduce the director of the Integrated Student Health Center, Gaylyn, Maurer.
Everyone, I'm here. Thank you for coming on today's show.
Yes, of course. It's such a pleasure to have you on here right now. And so, would you mind explaining to everyone, what does the Integrated Student Health Center do?
Sure, we're here to support students. So we can help support students in either primary care facility, with their sick growth campus, restrictions, anything like that. And the second is mental health support. So we have counselors available. It's free, it's confidential.
Yep.
And then we have promotions. And there's students in enrichment, choose a health program, and then giveaways and lots of education offers.
Wow, that is very, very interesting. And I'm so glad you took time to appear on this show today. And needless to say, I'm pretty unique in my own way. I'm the first one of the neurodivergent content creators on Facebook. And I would like to go a little bit more into neurodivergence before we go into the standard formats of this episode. So could you explain to the audience what autism spectrum disorder is, or in layman's terms?
Sure, absolutely. Well, years ago, there was a condition called autism, and often this is diagnosed in childhood. And it centers around a difficulty in communicating, but also severely autistic kids really have trouble with their own functioning and interacting with the world. And there was also a diagnosis called Asperger's, and that also is a communication issue. But the folks who have Asperger's can interact in the world and do their own functioning, but they have trouble interacting with other people.
Right.
So now they've put them all together into one spectrum. And so the lower functioning folks are what you would consider really autistic, like we used to think about. And the higher functioning folks often just have those interpersonal pieces that can be a challenge for them.
Right. Which is kind of what I experience on that side of things. I'm really high functioning. Hardly anyone notices that I have autism. Hardly anyone, unless I tell them.
Well, lots of the students here at Oregon Tech are high functioning, and yeah, no one would even know maybe that there are obstacles in the way or things that they struggle with.
Right, of course. And needless to say, like I said, I am pretty special. One of the many high functioning autistic creators at Oregon Tech.
So that's great that you have a voice and you have a way to get information out there.
Yes, of course. And I've been doing content for 2.5 years, ever since April 7th, 2020.
That's great.
And Colton has also been doing a lot of really great things with this platform, including autism awareness. Do you want to speak more to your campaign?
Well, we actually closed that campaign quite some time ago, but what we did was we did charity live streams for autism awareness under the charity organization Hearst Entertainment. Some of you may remember that. Some of you may have even been part of it, too. But anyways, we raised over $4,000 for autism awareness with the use of charity live streams and podcasts.
You're doing some really great things, spreading awareness, getting some money to a cause that's really personal to you, and it's really beautiful seeing you flourish. Speaking of flourishing, what are two things that went well this week?
On Monday, I finally did something in the welding shop. I welded 2 pieces of iron together using oxyacetylene. This was a momentous accomplishment for me. but I still have quite a bit to do. As of recent events, my dad has stated that we will be setting up a welding shop at Uncle Joe's place. So here's a bit of an update for you. So that way I'm more in town. That way I have hands-on help if I ever need it. I know things are going to work out well in the end. It's a prime opportunity for me. I have broken the skills barrier, and now is my chance to expand upon my skills. I am confident that this will be a worthwhile learning experience for me. I will gain more knowledge in welding and metalwork in the shop by working in a shop setting, which will help me become a more experienced and well-rounded welder. In no time flat, I will have projects that are worthy of a 4.0 GPA.
Very exciting.
Yes, I am very, very much notable in maintaining a 4.0 at college. Mind explaining a little bit, Charlotte?
Yeah. So Colton has some really exciting goals for his life. One of them is maintaining his 4.0. It's a top priority for him. Because his final goal is to go on, get his master's, get his PhD at the University on Mars. So he's really excited to strengthen his educational resources, accomplishments, so he can make some of his milestone goals, include working with Boeing.
Yes, and while you were talking, I just simply dug out some previous episode notes just for reference. And one of the things that I did talk about in terms of mental health is burnout. And if I remember correctly, let me look here in episode 7. I think it was, it must have been episode 8.
I think we might have touched on it in a few episodes.
That must have been episode 6. Yeah. But anyways, I think there was only a certain percentage of students that experienced burnouts. Do you remember what those percentages are? Per se?
I'm sorry I don't have those off the top of my head, but I'll tell you that, a lot of our students really do because they throw themselves into academics, that it is a real problem here at Oregon Tech because everybody's striving for that 4.0 and they work very hard. And so it's something that we do see quite often.
Yes. I myself am prideful in my work, needless to say. So it's tough for me to kick back, but I find opportunities every now and then. Last week, I decided I'd head to Stagecoach Pizza and play myself some Star Wars pinball.
Oh, and eat some good pizza,
Yes.
too? Good.
However, there's something about the real pinball machines. I just can't seem to wrap my finger around. And then meanwhile, the quiz and exam scores came in for math and chemistry. I got a 142 out of 150 on the math exam and a 51.5 out of 50 on the chemistry quiz.
Sweet. Man, above and beyond on that chemistry.
Yes, I'm going to be honest, I have never, ever gotten above 100% in an overall grade in a college course. If I put in plenty of effort, in no time it will be possible. Have there been students that did that?
Well, I cannot speak to all of the courses at Oregon Tech, and I don't want to give anyone's grades away, but I haven't seen it yet. So, but I think that with extra credit, it can be possible.
Yeah.
How did you end up getting those 1.5 extra points?
Well, extra credit question.
There we go.
And I think I had to find the percent abundance in certain elements. And so I was able to get some practice in on that, and bam, just wiped it out. Just straight up, just took it, clean it head on, just straight up decimated that.
Great.
Right. So, how do these things help you grow this week? And what did you gain out of it?
Well, I have become a more capable welder, right? You will agree. Although I have yet to become an experienced welder, with further training, I can weld just about anything together. I mean, like, I could get some welding internships if I wanted to, in which I'll discuss about the internship panel later on in question 5, but we gotta move forward with the general format of this episode.
Oh, yeah. I do have one question, though. You said that your Uncle Joe, you'll be setting up a welding shop. Does your Uncle Joe know how to weld? Is he helping you?
His son, Tristan, knows how to weld.
Oh,
And my dad also knows a friend who's been welding since he was 12.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
And
So
my-
you'll be getting like some one-on-one tutoring with family.
And my childhood best friend, who was actually the manager of Hearst Entertainment towards the beginning of the campaign's conclusion, he actually knows how to weld too.
Oh, wow. You have lots of resources, huh?
Yes, plenty of friends, plenty of connections, all around just a great guy.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. It sounds like you've had a really amazing week, but have you had any setbacks?
Tried a T-weld for the first time. Used a TIG welder. And let me tell you, it's tricky. You have to outline the torch in a specific way and ensure the puddle is partially on the flat piece of iron, and the iron that is standing up straight. I also found out that my filler rod keeps oxidizing. And this leads to my answer to the follow-up question. And would you mind asking me that, please?
So, what is one thing you can take away from this? And what is one thing you can improve on?
Well, I learned that the tungsten and the filler metal aren't supposed to touch. Just remain close enough to where it touches the puddle and the heat melts the filler metal. See, I've been letting it touch the tungsten, and so with that, you see, if I keep that close but not touching, more material is added without the potential for injury from heat burns, because filler metal can, when oxidized, it can actually fall off.
Yeah, that's a large safety.
I'm gonna need plenty of practice to become a skilled welder. It takes dedication to master the arts, and I believe I have the dedication to do it. Plus, plenty of support from my fans, friends, and family.
Yeah, it really sounds like it. It takes an army, right? Well, Colton, what did you do as a college student?
And this is where we get into the fun stuff. In Chemistry 204, we experimented with dilutions of solutions. It took me a few moments to understand what I was getting myself into with the dilution formula for the experiment, but the professor gave me a helping hand. I learned something interesting about conductivity. Conductivity is measured in microsemi per centimeter. The unit for electrical conductivity is Siemens per meter. Both units are named after German inventor, industrialist, and scientist Werner von Siemens, lived from 1816 to 1892. Siemens AG, the company he founded in 1847, is one of the largest engineering companies in the world. Siemens AG is responsible for the development and manufacturing of a variety of products, including power generation and transmission, medical imaging, industrial automation, traffic systems, and railway systems.
Wow, that's a lot of different.
The company also has a strong preference in software and IT solutions, especially in the engineering and healthcare sectors, which is what Oregon Tech has. So, what health technologies does Oregon Tech have per se, Gaylyn?
Well, I mean, we have our whole medical imaging technology area. And of course, that includes all kinds of technologies, whether it's EMS, so it's scanning babies, or it's vascular, like vein systems and things like that. And so, we have those technologies.
And has any of the patients that came to the Integrated Student Health Center went that far as to getting scanned?
Well, yeah. So we don't do the scanning ourselves. So the students do that, and they volunteer to scan one another. And so I think we probably had some of our students who have been scanned over in the labs as volunteers. We don't get to do the scanning ourselves, unfortunately.
Okay, that's explainable. And then during MFG 103's lab, we also finally dived into stick welding, also known as SMAW, SMAW. It was a much simpler process. We used a stick electrode and a stinger to strike an arc and make a weld. Within a few minutes, it became apparent to me. It was like riding a bike after years of not being on one. I might have been a bit wobbly in the process at first, but it all came flooding back and I was up and running in no time.
Nice.
I mean, I'm getting used to welding at this point. Stick welding is a basic process. The fundamentals remain the same no matter how long you've been away from it. Having the correct technique and understanding of the basics makes it easy to pick up the skill quickly. I have a feeling that I will be able to pull off a T-weld really very quickly.
Good. good.
I also heard we were going to do surface welds and a fuse weld for each project in the class. I have all the projects saved on my phone. Once my dad finishes the welding shop, every project that I have to do in a class will be capable. I can't wait to become the weld chef. I've also been acing my quizzes as usual. One of my professors is planning on nominating me for a student award.
Ooh.
Yes, it's quite interesting. I will not say who until I've been nominated.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's some really great rapport you're making with professors. And they see how well you're doing in class, and then willing to nominate you. That's really great news and great networking.
Of course.
So, Colton, I'm wondering what you can do to enhance your studies based on your experience.
Now, let's dive deep into that. Continue practicing and gaining hands-on experience. Tackling everything in college, making the most of it, will serve you well in the workforce. Get to know people, build up your skills, make every single moment count.
Yeah.
And a lot of students do that, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I mean, that's a lot of good advice right there. But I think getting involved is important, and staying connected and committing to the academic piece and trying to balance this.
Yeah, and building those connections with your peers, because right now they're peers at school and in class, but later they're going to be your peers in the workplace. So building those connections is really taking part.
Yes. I mean, I've already experienced it plenty of times beforehand. As I've done amazing in college, as I keep stating. And I bet the same can be said of seeking help throughout college, especially through student health services. It's especially important that we develop our skills in prime condition.
Have you utilized any of the student health services help?
I have
going into details, but
I have utilized the student health center 3 times now.
nice. That's
And-
really great. 'Cause
and-
it's what a wonderful resource.
Yes.
And it's free. And we don't need to get into time.
Of course. But I actually got out of my today's appointments just a few hours ago.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's a nice building up there.
Of course.
It's a great walk too, if you need exercise.
And man, that walk gets tiring every single time. I mean, with all the stuff I'm carrying, I might as well request a safety ride.
Yeah, you have a hefty backpack. I just tried to lift it up, and I think I almost broke my arms off.
Yeah, I'm a busy man.
You are a busy man. Well, Colton, I would love to hear what you did as a content creator.
I continue to be Facebook/Meta's rising creator.
Nice.
I'm still among the platform's top 2% of rising creators. I've been consistently creating content that resonates with the audience and have been able to garner a lot of engagement. This has allowed me to maintain my position as one of the top creators on the platform. Twitch, on the other hand, is another ballgame.
Oh.
I have yet to make a mark on Twitch, but I'm confident that I can do so soon. I've been working hard to get things set up to pave my way toward my return to the streaming world on Twitch. I believe my efforts will pay off. All I need to do is be able to get into my Xbox account again.
Oh, you're still locked out?
Yep, still locked out.
That's so disappointing.
Claire suggested that I go through Microsoft tech support.
Yeah, that's a really great solution.
All I have to do is find the number, call them, get back in there.
Yeah. I'm sure in no time.
Just go in for the back door,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. Have you tried a test stream on Twitch yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Just exploring the platform.
Right.
Okay.
Anyways, once I can enter the password and access my account, I will be able to start streaming my content and reach out to a larger audience. Right marketing strategy and engaging content, I am confident that I can make a name for myself on Twitch. At the moment, however, this podcast is all we have in terms of content on this page. Expect updates later down the line.
So, what can you do to enhance your content?
At this moment, I can only continue to expand upon this podcast. This is the main thing keeping me afloat in my content creating career, while I wait to gain the resources to make my big return to the streaming world. When I return, it will be majestic and glorious. And plus, there have not been too many students that have done streaming per se.
That kind of surprises me.
Yeah.
So,
And you did mention in orientation that there's students that just stay up and try to enter in that last bit of code. Could you explain that?
yes, well, so unfortunately around times like midterms, like we are now, and we've got students who, they stay up in 12 hours straight coding or working on their, math projects or whatever it is they have going on. And that's not the healthiest approach. So we talk about maybe taking a little break every hour, just kind of give your brain time to let it simmer instead of just sort of like slogging away for 10 hours straight. It's
Right.
not the healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, having high functioning autism myself, I have a bit of a hyperactive brain, meaning it doesn't shut down or slow down or tire out that easily. But still, quite a bit risky for a content creator such as myself.
Yeah. Are you making sure you're getting enough sleep, especially during midterms week?
Well, I've been doing my best with that. Some nights I just stay up and try to format the episode. I mean, formatting is pretty tough. Like with the Spamton skit in the previous episode and the Shrek and Donkey episode. Or the Shrek and Donkey skit for this episode. When you do more than one character, you have to interval between the two voices. And lately, Fake You, the website that I've been using for these text-to-speech skits, they made me create an account in order to download these voices.
Oh. Yeah.
Otherwise, I just have to straight up screen record and rely on the time solely.
Okay, yeah. So you're staying up mostly for your content creating and not necessarily school?
School, definitely, at times.
Okay.
Which is why I
Yeah.
tend to get content creation out of the way as soon as I can in order to focus on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. Did you have many midterms this week?
So far, only just the one.
Oh, okay.
In Math 111.
Oh.
There's supposed to be 3 midterm exams, and then the final.
Oh, okay. So hopefully it wasn't too stressful of a week for you.
Don't worry, it wasn't. It was
Okay.
no cinch.
Okay. Well, Colton, I would love to hear about what college events or club meetings you attended this week.
Yeah, well, surprise, surprise. Guess who saw me at the engineering internship panel?
Me!
Some student interns were there, as well as one of the members of MECOP that help students get into paid internships. These allow engineering students to gain experience, polish their skills. This demonstrates to employers that they are hardworking, passionate, and willing to learn from their mistakes. And you've helped some of these students get into MECOP and some of these internships, haven't you, Charlie?
Yeah, I've helped with the application process and in some mock interviews. I love to help with that. I have a passion in journalism, so interviewing people, that's like my favorite thing to do.
Oh, yes.
And anytime I can give some tips or tricks, I love to help students out with that.
Right. And of course, interviews are your specialty, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is why Top uses plenty of appointments.
Oh, yes. Interviews, or I love editing again, back to my journalism days and writing. I love to get my hands and get the red pen out and correct some grammar. I'm a little bit of a grammar Nazi. So.
Have you tried video editing?
Video, you know what? I haven't tried video editing. A little bit auditory editing I've done, but not with the video.
Well, unless you got OBS Studio, microphone, webcam, capture card, you know how to edit videos, you can't consider yourself a true professional content creator, if that makes sense. Everyone can relate to this.
Well, I feel it's a very generalized term. I feel like you can be a content creator based on different platforms, but you're thinking specifically of like video game content.
Yes.
Creator. Yeah.
Of course. Which I have grown to be a profession at this day of age. I mean, back then we only had a wooden stand that we used, and we had to clamp my phone on.
Oh, you've quite grown, huh?
Yep, we started from literally nothing.
Oh, wow.
All right, so let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well did this help you get involved with the Oregon Tech Board?
innate. I feel as though the event could have improved a bit. For instance, there could have been more intern recruiters.
Well, it wasn't. It was to learn about the process of extra.
Right.
So it wasn't a recruitment event.
Right. But I felt that if we include them in future internship panels, students like myself would learn more about the specific requirements for specific internships and what the recruiters expect of interns. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like, but I think that those are some really great notes. But also there's the career fair that we push you towards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't want to step on you know, the toes of the career fair. So this is kind of a really great segue to get you prepared for the career fair.
Right.
To answer some questions
Of
peer
course.
to peer.
But any preparation can't hurt.
Yeah.
Any and all preparation. Even if it's extended preparation, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there is such a thing as being overprepared, guy like me can't be too overprepared.
Yeah.
We want to learn at our fullest capabilities. We must learn and grow from our experiences. With this, we can foster a new level of understanding in the engineering community. And so I guess while we're talking about health and safety, are there any engineers that actually come into the integrated student health center because of an injury?
Oh, you know, that's a good question. Well, yes, we have had people who have used or in other labs, maybe getting a little shock.
Right.
When they weren't necessarily,
Oh,
you know.
could you move a bit closer to the
sure.
front of the mic?
Sure. And so, you know, some things can be avoided and some things can't, of course. And so we do see quite the gambit of injuries that happen, but it's not something that happens on a really frequent basis.
Of course. That is totally understandable. I'm lucky to have not gone through that quite just yet. I mean,
We keep that
right. Of course, when I was working with welding, I did feel some of the rods and such become a little bit hot, but I moved away before it really got serious.
good job.
I could sense when danger comes and dodge out of the way.
Good reflex.
I mean, like, as Ticklebearer 369 said, whenever I get close to tilting in pinball or pull off plenty of crazy moves, I flirt with disaster.
Oh. And I'm quite sure your professors are very safe ones too, right?
Yes, of course. In fact, there are strict lab requirements in chemistry's lab, as well as in the MFG 103 lab. Like, for example, when I went in to do some stick welding, from this point onward, the brown leather jacket that I've been using while I've been in there, that isn't going to work anymore, essentially.
Oh.
Because there's going to be more sparks that are going to be flying out. These can easily burn a hole in my jacket.
Ooh, yeah, and that's a really nice jacket you have. So don't want anything happening there, huh?
Yes. And plus, suits definitely didn't bring those, so.
Oh, good, yeah. No nice clothes.
But if I ever need to do a speech of sorts, I can always bring a change of clothes.
That is.
In fact, I can also tell you how the informative speech is progressing quite along.
Oh, yeah.
In the first segment of my speech, I talk about the infinitely expanding multiverse. And the only way to explain that is through cosmological expansion. Because there's probably going to be a sphere that's 10 to the 29th meters away that features an identical copy of it.
Oh.
That's a long ways away.
That is. I was trying to wrap my brain around it. I don't think I really can in the multiverse.
I'm just familiar with it. So I can't
Yes.
speak to the real life one.
Yeah.
Of course, I've always been fascinated by the idea of multiverse. Like, for example, there was one timeline, like I said, where this podcast didn't even exist, or maybe I would have hit stardom earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite fascinating to talk about all these possibilities. What would be the most fascinating universe you would ever come across, if it ever popped into your head?
Right now, one that really centers around chocolate, I feel like would be really beneficial to my life.
Chocolate. You know, man, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and looks like I'm single this year.
Ah.
Well, it's not just about romance.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
have all kinds of affection for your friends. And
Yeah.
family and
Of course.
things too.
Yeah.
So,
really just showing people
think-
you care, right?
Yes. I think I'm going to spend Valentine's.
Ah.
Oh, no. And that's what you call running out of time before you even get into the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. Next time we'll have to talk about it.
Right.
more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll discuss what happened during Valentine's Day in episode 10.
Yeah, that'll be a
Mm.
cliffhanger.
Right.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can get back in there
Mhm.
next.
Who knows? Episode 10 might be very, very special. Who knows?
Oh.
I'm not gonna reveal what it's about
Okay.
or who is the
Okay.
guest,
We don't know the
Yeah.
topic
but
yet.
but the guest might excite some of the fans. Let's just say that.
Oh.
Right.
Yes, there is the potential for an old friend to come on,
Oh.
That's fun.
That'll be
Oh,
great.
and I'm not going to say who again.
No,
Just-
I don't even know.
I know, it's a
Just-
mystery.
Just know that this could be an old friend of mine.
All right,
Oh,
well,
that's
good,
exciting.
yeah.
Mhm. So, anyways, thank you for joining us, Gaylyn Maurer.
Sure, I hope it
Yes.
was okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you do to keep us students healthy
Oh,
Mhm.
and
sure.
for faculty and
Yeah.
staff.
Of course. It's our
Thank
pleasure,
you.
yeah.
Mhm.
Really
Of
caring
course.
on our
Mhm.
students.
Yeah, you bet.
Right. And so, thank you folks so much for tuning in. Remember, there'll be disappointments in life, but humans have the power to turn those disappointments into accomplishments. This is Wayne Z0207, aka Colton W. Hurst, aka the fourth wall breaking one man army, signing out, folks. Good night.
Bye.